Good morning. Three things that I kind of wanted to go over this morning that all kind of go hand in hand. And if you're trans, I think that you should listen to this inherently just for some sort of self-acceptance type thing. And if you're not trans, at the end, I put in there what can you actually do to try to start helping trans people. So the first one, and this is like everybody hates this term in the trans community, and that's passability. And I hate that term for where it's for now, which is this notion of can you tell? And I think that's messed up in a lot of different ways. First of all, you should never not be telling someone. The first intro line if you're dating someone should be, I'm trans. hey, just so you know. So that's like the first thing. Like, what is the point of being this passability type thing? We've set it as like some goalposts of that's when I hit my achievement mark, right? And out of that, especially with, women, trans women, men transitioning into women, there was a lot of bullying. As it started to become mainstream, as mainstream will do, people started talking about it, and there was a lashback, and we all know it. We all know it's going to happen. Any puts their shit out there, some other is going to come up and make fun of it. So there was this term that started going around where trans women are women, and it essentially was this show of like, hey, we're not going to make fun of you. We understand, like, you're not the weirdos that are out there trying to, like, get our children or something, It was a very nice notion. It was a nicety. It's extended into delusion. And I think that, and this was one of the hardest things for me to reconcile too, because in my head, ever since I transitioned, my brain's been like, you don't look like a girl, you look like a trans chick. Like, it's clear you're a trans chick. And people would always be like, nah, I don't understand why you look like a girl, pass, you need this. Stop. It's so cruel. It's so cruel to basically tell someone that they look like someone who genetically popped out, someone who has gender dysphoria, to sit there and convince them that they are literally indifferential, whatever, I can't speak this morning, to, God, I hate saying cis women, it's so irritating. And so it's important to realize that if you are trans, or if you're talking to someone who's trans, that you do have a little bit going on up here. It's a little wrong. And honestly, processing and handling and accepting reality is much better for your mental well-being in the long run. Because when you walk around and you start thinking, well, okay, like, I have like all these people who are saying like I'm indistinguishable from other women, but then I have these other people calling me a man, and my whole sense of being is gone. And that's a shitty feeling, and I've lived in that. I've felt that feeling. I've known it, and it's been so frustrating because inside my head, I'm sitting there looking at the people who are telling me that they can't tell, and I'm just like, okay, I'm pretty sure you can. And so the best way that you can help someone is, you look very feminine. You're clearly presenting as a female. You're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. But don't peddle the lie that you're now indistinguishable. And trans women, stop going for that hallmarker. We're trying to get everyone in the world to be more comfortable with their skin, and we're trying to deconstruct the whole entire facade of what we have archetype female beauty to be, and still we want to try to get ourselves indistinguishable from a Barbie model. Like, just go for people who are chill with you being trans, and accept that you look like a trans person. And trans men, you do have it, in my opinion, a little bit easier sometimes. People probably debate that. But at the same time, you have to understand that if you keep buying into the narrative that you're no longer a woman with gender dysphoria, then things are going to upset you. It's weird when we talk about the elephants in the room and they're so upsetting. We change verbiage around tampons and feminine products because it's upsetting. Why are we this fragile? When I go to my doctor, I talk to him about male care, male specific exams. It's okay to accept who you are. And to push this narrative, trans women are women and trans men are men, is pretty transphobic. It's pretty transphobic, and it only does damage to the individual because it distorts further their sense of reality. And if someone already is having an issue with but if they're already having these issues, this is my own experience, really what that does is it lowers the threshold of being able to accept the fact that you're not. And that's why you see more reactivity with misgendering. When I first came out and I knew I looked very masculine because I still was working on all the things, it didn't bother me that much when I was dead named. It didn't bother me that much when I was misgendered. Years and years later, after I had dumped so much time and effort and energy into transforming myself, and people continually kept with this narrative of, you got there, you look just like a woman, you're just there, you got there. That's when it started to ruin my day. Because it's like, I've been out for this long, and I've done so much work, and why can you not just... This group of people is saying I'm indistinguishable, but then why are these people clocking me? Because these people that were trying to be nice were actually doing a lot of damage. So, the best way that you can help someone who's trans is not to be like the Matt Walshes and the Ben Shapiros and sit there and insult them. That's not helping either. The best way to help is to help that person accept reality. Like, you look very pretty. You're very pretty. Your hair is very feminine. Like, speak to the traits and how they are affirming how the person wants to present. But don't just blindly say, you pass. It puts up that... It doesn't do the help that you think it's doing.